Hello everyone, welcome to Trade. Today we're going to be seeing the Nifty and Bank Nifty levels, just a pretty detailed explanation for Nifty and Bank Nifty levels for Monday. We're going to start off with this daily chart of Bank Nifty. See, firstly, Bank Nifty from past few days, almost a week, it has been consolidating in this small tight range, right? If you can see the price action, it is just making wicks on the other side. So this level between 41,800 to 41,270 or 41,265, we have been consolidating in this range. Now if we need to see the levels for Monday, first I'll just go put on all the EMAs. The red line that you see here is the 20 EMA. See, beautifully we took support of the 200 EMA during this budget fiasco and bounced from there, and after that we are not able to break the 20 EMA on daily basis. On the daily chart we are continuously taking resistance on the 20 EMA. After this particular candles, right, after these two candles, did kind of expect we could get some downside, but again we got a huge wick, and again on Friday we rejected this 20 EMA. So this level, this 20 EMA on daily moving average is a good resistance at about 41,600, and we will shift to a lower time frame to just refine our support and resistance. See, whenever we have this type of a consolidated move, right, it's pretty clear that we will need to mark this level as a good resistance and the support area as a good support. Now, in case the market goes higher, we immediately have another resistance over here. This is the day on the budget day where we reversed, that is around 42,000. So this is another important level that we'll have to mark. Then anything above that probably would be over here 42,300, and first we'll mark the support, and then we will see. I'm marking all the support and resistance on the 1 hour chart. Then we will see what are the best possible trades that we can do for Monday. And now I'm just going to shift to a 15-minute chart, and I'm going to place one pretty strong support region over here. This nice wick that we bounce, right, this can act as a good support in case we come down, that is around 40,600, and below that obviously this is where we have our next major support. Obviously it is quite far, about 1,000 points away, but we just have to keep all the levels marked, and let's use this as a good support as well. Now coming back to our hourly chart, and since from past 1 week we have been consolidating in this range, right, so it is a no-brainer that if this range breaks out, probably we could see some good trade on the upside or downside, right. I'm going to mark this range in blue and make sure it is just like a box. Right, we are in this type of a pattern. If we break out of this, there is an immediate resistance at 42,000, but even if 42,000 breaks, definitely the next target is 42,300, and in case we come down, the first level of support is 41,100, and below that we have our level of 40,600, right. So as long as we are in this range between 41,700 and this bottom level of 42,260, within this range we will be sideways. There is no doubt about it. I'm going to make this line a little thinner line just to know that we have one more strong support over here. So as long as we are in this range, we will be sideways. We have to wait for a good strong candle close on an hourly chart or a 15-minute chart above 41,700 or below 41,288. We can also kind of use this trend line. So these are the levels that we will be working with for Monday. Now there are two type of logics that we can see. One is a good trade on the upside and a good trade on the downside, right. Obviously if we are within this range of 41,700 and 41,300, we will try and avoid or just do some scalping. See, as of now, the market is positioned in such a way that, see, we got a good bounce after all this Adani news and the budget news, and probably we are making this type of a flag pattern. And once we break out of this, the momentum will continue on the upside, probably until 42,300 or maybe even until 42,000. Maybe some momentum on the upside is possible. Now, this flag and pole structure is one thing. Now, where is that flag and pull? I'm just shifting to an hourly chart, so make it more clear. It's something like this, right? This is the entire length of the pole. This is like a flag and pole, and once we break out, and it's also like a nice triangle. Once we break out, the target on the upside can easily come close to 42,300, right? But that trade is only possible if we close above 41,700, and in case we slip on the downside, if this trend line breaks, and most importantly for the downside, this low of 42,260 or 42,270 should break. Once that breaks, we could see levels of 41,096, and then we have this 40,800. We'll also see the CPR levels, how the CPR levels are there for tomorrow. I mean Monday. See, we do have a pretty narrow CPR, indicating most likely whenever there's a narrow CPR, we could have a nice trending day. So only for Monday, that was the overall view with the flag and pole stuff, but only for Monday, if you see the levels, if kind of this trend line breaks, the purple trend line, right? If this breaks, I'll just make this in a different color, say blue. So if this blue or slanting trend line breaks, probably we can see levels of 41,280, and if that breaks, we have S3 here at 41,074 and a strong support at this level of 41,115. And any trade on the upside is only if we close above this level, and this is like a nice selling zone. We can even keep this entire zone marked. So just to see why we need the zone marked, there is a possibility, though this is slightly huge, there is a possibility that the price can go higher and reverse on the downside, right? So we'll have to keep this entire zone marked. Any trade above 41,700, we could easily go up to 43,000. This 300 point move can be tradable if we close above 41,700. I'm not expecting another day of sideways where we will be like another day where we will be within this range. But if we are, yes, we can do some scalping. That is meaning if we get some nice rejection over here at this 41,600, we can take a shot with first target as 41,550 and along this trend line. See, in case we go here, take resistance, we might come closer to this trend line again. So these are the small trades that we can take. Or if we get a flat opening and come and take support along this trend line, maybe we will come back to this 41,600. So within this range, we will only try to scalp. But if this range breaks out or breaks down, we can try and take some good trade. So that is with the Bank Nifty. Let's have a check how the Nifty is doing. See, this is the daily chart of Nifty, where we have been again making this type of we have been moving in this tight range. But in Nifty, there is this one important trend line that we will have to track. In case Nifty goes higher and breaks this trend line, there's a good chance we could make a new high. Probably we will come closer to 18,200 or even 18,500, if not for Monday or this month, next month. But this trend line is something that we will have to track closely in Nifty. That is this blue trend line, because here is where we can take resistance again or break out. See, this trend line at about 18,000 is where we might take some resistance, or if we break out, we could get some good move on the upside. So that's one thing that we'll have to note. And now coming to our low time frames, Let's just shift to a 15-minute chart. And just mark few levels. See, this is the budget day high. We're going to keep that as a good resistance. And apart from that, again, Nifty has been moving in kind of this range, right, from past 2 days. When this down move came, we thought maybe it will extend on the downside, but immediately there was some recovery and we have been in this tight range. Let's see if we can put one trend line from here. We can use this blue trend line, see how perfectly it fits, like almost 3 points touch this trend line, so there's a good chance we can make use of this trend line. And this is a good resistance point, 17,900. We have not been able to break out of it almost thrice, and a good support level is about 17,878, 17,700. So there is one small gap over here which we might come down to fill. So in Nifty, if we close below 17,830, or the best trade on the short side is if we close below 17,800, this line where previously we have taken support, if we close below this, probably we can come to fill this gap at 17,720, and then we have the strong resistance of 17,650. And any trade on the upside in Nifty is only if we close above this level of 17,900. We could see a target of 17,972, where we made this high on this budget day and reversed, and above that probably we can even, if we break the budget day high, we could come closer to this level of 18,024. So once again in Nifty we have a pretty tight range similar to Banknifty, so just wait for this type of a range to break out and then see if we can get some nice trade. The previous example of this type of a consolidated move was very recent over here. Right, we were stuck in this range for almost a week and a half, right? Then we kind of got this false breakout, then we came back into the this range and then had a nice fall, though this was news based. But once this type of a range, once this type of a range broke out, you see the kind of move that comes on the downside. So always wait. From past few days the market have been consolidating. Probably once we break out of this type of this triangle range that we are in, we could see some nice move on the upside or